iOS 13 tells you when apps are secretly tracking you. Adrian Kingsley-Hughes is here with us for ZDNet to talk a little bit more about this. And Adrian, what are people seeing pop up now?
Yeah, people who've upgraded to iOS 13 could be seeing an awful lot more pop-ups than they're used to from iOS. Usually iOS is a very clean upgrade, but this time around, Apple's decided that it's going to warn everybody about two things specifically. First, apps that track people in the background. And I think this is a really interesting one. It's interesting to see all the apps that you might have forgotten. They're just sitting on your phone, watching you the whole time. That's the first one. So you get a pop-up asking you, do you want this app to track your location all the time? Or do you just want it to track your location when you're using the app? That's pretty cool. And I think that that's going to be something people are going to be able to bond with. And it's maybe going to make people think, what's this little thing in my pocket doing the whole time? The other cool feature is Bluetooth. And I think this one's a little bit ambiguous. It will ask people, do you want this app to use Bluetooth? And it will offer people certain suggestions depending on what the app's used for. But the interesting one is that it could be used to track people. And I think the idea of an app tracking people through Bluetooth is an interesting one. But more and more, we're seeing supermarkets and fast food chains and using little beacons to know that people are in the store or whether what aisle they're in supermarkets. So I think this one will come as quite a surprise to people. And I think Apple could have worded this a little bit better because it does make you feel like you're turning Bluetooth off. And I think some people have asked me, well, will this mean can I still use my Bluetooth speakers? Yes, it can. And I think the wording could do with a little bit of clarity on Apple's part, but I think from a privacy perspective, this is fantastic. And I think a lot of app makers are going to find how much data they're collecting on the slide drop dramatically now.
All right, so Adrian, what are our options? Opt in, opt out, or just be more aware of this?
Well, there's basically the pop-up gives two options. The option is with the tracking, do you want the app to track you when you're using it, or do you want the app to be able to track you the whole time? I think that's quite an easy option for people to understand. And I think it's going to make a lot of people think, oh, I didn't even realize this app could track me when I'm not using the app. While I think the wording within settings in iOS has made this quite clear all along, I think for most people it's going to come as quite a surprise that apps can track you in the background. And I think we're going to see a lot of people going, oh, they allow this when I'm using it. As far as Bluetooth is concerned, the Bluetooth settings are quite interesting. It's allow or deny. And I think while I think a lot of people are going to instinctively hit deny on this because they're going, well, why do I want this thing to track me? Why do I want this? I'm not seeing any benefit from this. I think that's a little bit more confusing. As I say, one of the things I'm seeing from people is going, well, will my Bluetooth work? Will my Apple Watch still connect? Is it turning off Bluetooth altogether? So I think that could do with clarity. And I would imagine Apple will change the wording on this a little bit as time goes on. The other problem is that these are just pop-ups. So if you dismiss them, they sort of disappear into the bowels of iOS settings. And for most people, unless you have a miner's lamp and a map, and you're not going to venture into that. So I think it's a little bit, I can see a lot of people hitting no, say on tracking for something and going, why is this not working anymore? So I can see some downsides to this, but as far as a privacy issue is concerned, certainly for raising awareness that apps are tracking you, this is superb stuff.
All right, Adrian, thanks so much. For more on iOS 13 and what you need to know, check out Adrian's full article and much more on ZDNet.